And I call it question number 1, Willie Rennie.
Responses to a recent report by Enable Scotland that highlights that over 250 people with learning disabilities are living in NHS Scotland, with one woman being there for 60 years.
Can I confirm that the Minister was able to hear enough of Mr Rennie's question?
I think I got the gist of that, Presiding Officer. Thank you.
Thank you. Please respond.
Presiding Officer, it's completely unacceptable for people with learning disabilities and more complex needs to spend long periods of time in hospital. That is why the Scottish Government and COSLA commissioned a working group to look at this issue in March 2020, and the report of the group is expected to be published in the next few weeks. We have already allocated £20 million of funding in 2021 to integration authorities to significantly reduce out-of-area placements and hospital stays by 2024. The report includes recommendations for a framework that directly addresses Enable's concerns, a national register and a national panel to support it. This is vital. In addition, the Scottish Government is bringing forward legislation to establish a Commissioner for Learning Disabilities and Autism. The role of that Commissioner will be to fully protect rights with a range of statutory powers that could include bringing individual cases. Visibility and accountability are critical, and the Government fully intends to move forward and ensure that people with learning disabilities and complex needs have a home in their communities. We need strong partnerships nationally and locally to make this happen without delay.
Willie Rennie.
I mean, the problem is that the Government have been declaring this as an urgent priority for years. There were reports in 2018, and the original right to their own home was declared back in the year 2000. Yet 21 years later, 250 people with learning disabilities are stuck in hospital, and the guidance required last year has still not been published. So I hope the Minister understands there's quite a lot of frustration out there. Some authorities think that multi-bed units are appropriate, but that is just a new form of institutionalised living. Will the Minister rule out multi-bed units?
Minister.
Presiding Officer, I understand some of the frustration that is out there. I've heard that frustration when I've talked to folks with lived experience and people actively involved in the learning disabled and autism communities. The guidance that is issued on the Community Change Living Fund is clear that it should be used to design community-based solutions that negate or limit future hospital use and out-of-country replacements. Going forward, we will work closely with HSCPs to ensure that funding is spent in line with the guidance and the contents of the upcoming delayed discharge report when published. I think the use of the term multi-bed unit is not a good one. We know that people can share homes and thrive well. That happens here in my constituency in Aberdeen Central and across Scotland. But the use of the term multi-bed unit tends to lead me to think, and I'm sure Mr. Rennie is of the same view, of an alternative to hospital. That is not what we want here. We want people to have homes in their communities.